Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. It's the Jim Rome Show on WSKO Syracuse, a Cumulus Media station.
Welcome
the voice
of
the Central New York sports fan. The Score,
the box
1260.
Mark Rowlands starts right now.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. Solo show today. No Josh, just the way we wanted to ring in the new year. Another missed show for Josh. No, I knew he wasn't going to be here today. So just me. I'm sure this will delight Jim once he gets into the chat. But if you want to join the chat, you can go ahead and head on over to twitch.tv/marker_box. You can go over to my Twitter account at marker_box, or you can go to the Score 1260 YouTube channel. This show is live on all three of those platforms every single week. There's a video feed. I've got the camera set up in here. Talk to you during the breaks. You can always post in the chat, and we'll discuss what's being discussed by you guys. So if you don't feel like calling into the show, which of course you can, phone lines open the entirety of the show, 315-671-1260. Just call during the break so I can screen your call. But if you don't want to call in, you can always feel free to go to, like I said, twitch.tv/marker_box, my Twitter account at marker_box, or the Score 1260 YouTube channel. A lot of stuff to talk about in the world of sports right now. SU basketball just played their most recent game on New Year's Eve. Happy New Year to everybody, by the way. Like I said, ringing in the new year now on January 3rd. But SU played on New Year's Eve against Clemson. We'll break down that game. They've got a game coming up against Georgia Tech, playing that one on Tuesday, the 6th. And, of course, the college football playoff. Played between New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. One game on Wednesday, Miami and Ohio State. We'll talk about that one. As someone who lives with an Ohio State fan, kind of a tough watch. Kind of a tough watch for the Buckeyes against the Hurricanes of Miami. But you know what? Good for Miami. I'm rooting for them. I don't think they're going to win their next game, but good for them. I was kind of happy to see Ohio State go down. Didn't want a back-to-back champion. Then, of course, Oregon, Texas Tech, Alabama, Indiana, the shellacking that it was. We'll talk about that game because I've got some thoughts on this Indiana Hoosiers football team. And then Ole Miss and Georgia wrapped it up on New Year's Day. So next games will be Thursday, January 8th. That's Miami and Ole Miss. And then Oregon and Indiana on Friday the 9th. Yep, Jim, in the chat, solo show. Ringing in the new year right. No Josh. Now, I believe he said last week that he wasn't going to be here. Wasn't going to be here this week. But yeah, so a lot of things going on in the world of sports. Jim says a couple of snow flurries and Josh is out. I was just happy that I could actually park here today. The parking lot was indeed plowed. You know, they just need a couple of days before I come in to actually plow the driveway sometimes. So I was just happy that I could actually make it up into our parking lot today, and I didn't have to park across the street like I've had to do a few times. Has been very snowy this week, though. Do want to... I know. This is one of those things, oh, no one cares about your fantasy football teams. But I was in a lot of fantasy football leagues this year, and the season is now wrapped up. I was in a lot of fantasy football leagues this year. I was in 6. Josh and I co-owned a team together for a league at Bellevue Country Club. And Jim said, to be honest, no one cares. I know. I just want to say that what the hell happened to any good NFL player this past week? I was in 2 championship games, including the one that Josh and I co-own. And that one, they scored like 90 points. Whatever. It happens. The one that I'm in, with other local assistant golf professionals. I was in the championship game for that one. And my team combined for 59 points. 59. It was ridiculous. Stone said, shout out Bijan for my $500 fantasy win. Well, good for you, Stone. Because my team, with Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley and Josh Jacobs and all these guys, good team, went to the championship game, got me to the big one. Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, Tyrone Tracy Jr. I got Lad McConkey on my bench. I got Mecca Ibuka, who did absolutely nothing for me in the second half of the year. No, Stone, I didn't have Drake May. Caleb Williams was my backup quarterback. But all these guys combined for 59 points. How does a team that good perform so poorly? Josh Jacobs got me 1.3. Jalen Waddle, 0.7. The only guy that performed was A.J. Barner, the tight end, the backup tight end for the Seattle Seahawks, who I picked up on waivers. Because I was like, Darnold likes to go to a tight end. Their starter's out. Let me pick up A.J. Barner. He got me 13 points. That was the highest performer. Second highest was the Steelers' defense. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But hey, still got a couple of Venmos last night, so that's always good. But it's just, man, right when I think, I'm like, and I don't want to talk about the Man-Child Show Champs League season. I'm staying in the Champs League. I didn't fall into the bottom three. But I was damn close. Not a good year for the radio team. But I'm still in the Champs League. Get to go to that live draft next year. Very excited. Live draft is always a fun time, especially with those guys. Lurch and Boy Green and Joe Bartle's in that league, fantasy football insider. Brian Drake, fantasy football expert in that league as well. So that's a fun, very competitive league with some good competition. Shout out Jamie, the FedEx guy, in there as well. Jamie sent me like 49 trade offers this year. I accepted a couple of them. But it seemed like every 20 minutes or so, I was looking at my phone saying, another trade from Jamie. But was able to stay in the league, which is the important thing. I finished fourth from last, but I was able to stay in the league. It's funny, out of the 6 leagues, 4 of them were really bad, and 2 of them went to the championship game. So it was just it was a crapshoot for me this year with fantasy football. All right, that's it. That's my fantasy football talk. We don't talk about it much on this show, unless Jamie calls in, because Jamie, the FedEx guy, if he's out there listening, he's probably already started mock drafting for fantasy football next year. The guy's a maniac. So when he calls in is really the only time we talk about it. But that's my fantasy football update for this week. Jim said 59 seems low, but good in golf. I would tear off my right arm to be able to shoot a 59 on the golf course. Shot even par once. That was at Pine Grove, a very easy golf course. So 59, not in the cards. Not in the cards for me. Yet. I'll get there. My goal is to become a +6 handicap. Get it down from an 8 where it is right now. But that's it for fantasy football. Jim said I've shot 59 a few times here, actually. Oh, yeah, Jim. What'd you shoot on the back? Haha. Oh, then he said just a matter of how many holes it took. Yeah, see, that's what. One time I remember working at Bellevue. I went out. I had a split shift, so I worked in the morning. I had like 4 hours off, 4 or 5 hours off, and then I had to go back for the afternoon. And I get there, I go back, and my boss, Dan, was like, "So what'd you do during your break, Mark?" I was like, I went out and got 18 holes in. He goes, "Oh, where'd you play?" "Yeah, Camillus." "What'd you shoot?" 77, actually. Played really well." "Oh, that's great. What'd you shoot on the back?" Like, all right, Dan. I know I'm not the best golfer in the world, but I'm not going to shoot 77 on 9 holes. You got me. You got me. I still think about it. I have nightmares about the about the time Dan thought not actually thought, but insinuated that I would shoot in the 70s on 9 holes, but 50s maybe on a bad day. 70s, no. We're gonna take a timeout, come back, and talk some SU hoops when we return here on Outside the Box Score, your home for local sports in Syracuse on the Score 1260. Yeah, I have gotten to 59 every time I've played golf. Hi, Pat. Yeah, what's it? I'm watching this video of Shrewsbury, the Notre Dame coach. What happened here? Like, I heard about it, but Pat said you look horrible today. No booze last night. That is correct. No booze last night. Oh, okay. So they tried following up 3. Yeah. Hmm. Interesting. Yeah, I didn't watch any of that game last night. I didn't watch any games last night. Watched a movie. Pat said, "Where's Josh?" I forget where Josh. I think he went to the. There was a WWE thing in Rochester last night. He probably went to that. I am going to see Marty Supreme soon. I'm probably going to see it this week or next week, but I'm very excited to see it. I think it looks great. And I have all of the stock in Timothy Chalamet. That guy rocks. I still haven't seen the Dylan movie he did. I still haven't seen Complete Unknown. I've listened to the soundtrack. He's unbelievable as Bob Dylan, but or you know what, Pat? I did watch some of the which game did I watch yesterday? Some of the Navy game. I saw some of that. He's really good in the movie is very meh. Yeah, I feel like that's most music biopics. I liked the Springsteen one. What was it? Deliver Me from Nowhere with Jeremy Allen White. I like that one. Um, yeah, Navy is going to be garbage next year. Yeah, I saw that stat that it was like most of their roster were seniors. But yeah, the Springsteen one was pretty good. I liked it. It's about Nebraska. It's not like it's about Born in the USA or Born to Run or anything, but I thought it was interesting. Guys will literally write an entire album rather than go to therapy. So And we're back outside the box world with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. I was just talking to Pat in the chat during the break about the Navy football game yesterday. Navy likely not going to be very good next year because most of their roster is seniors. But Pat just said the fun fact of the night was that Navy lets all of their players play intramural football, which is insane. Can you imagine playing just, some intramural flag? I'm in college, gonna join an intramural team like I did. I played intramural softball when I was in college. Shout out that team. Won the championship my first year. I was the pitcher. Won it all. We had a guy on the team by the name of Cole Parzik. To this day, I don't think I've ever seen any type of ball hit with a bat that went as far as he hit a softball during a game one time. This guy was an unreal softball player. And he hit one. I don't know if it's landed yet. I still think about it. That actually wasn't even during the intramural league. That was during our annual WNYO versus WTOP softball game at Oswego when the media organizations played a softball game against each other every year, which was a ton of fun. And during that game one year, it would have been my freshman year, he hit a ball like 800 feet. I've never seen anything like it. Shout out Cole. I know he listens to the show sometimes. So Cole, if you're listening, shout out you. Great guy. He was my sports director my freshman year. Really helped me get into the whole broadcasting thing. Awesome broadcaster too. But I know he's still around. So Cole, if you're listening, shout out you for absolutely demolishing a softball one time. But I can't imagine like going to play intramural softball and the opposing pitcher's like Jenny Finch. Or you're going to play intramural football and your opposing team is just the Navy football team. That would scare the daylights out of me. I wonder, they have to win every game, but I wonder what the scores are like. Are they just blowing everybody out? Oh, Pat says, I think they split up the players to different teams. Well, that's good. That makes sense. But I do think it would be very funny if they just played one game against just a bunch of dudes. Just a bunch of guys playing flag football on the quad. That would be really fun to see. Do that with like Alabama. Pat said, do you think they still run the triple option the entire time? Yes, I do. Of course they do. They're Navy football players. They have to run the triple option. It's illegal for them to run anything else. Do you think every intramural team at Navy runs the triple option? It's like I'm convinced that for years at Syracuse, every intramural basketball team ran the zone. Like you have to. You just have to. I did catch some of that game yesterday. Did watch all of the playoff games. I watched Miami beat down on Ohio State, up 14-0 at half. Ohio State tried to come back a little bit in the second half, but it was never really a game. Miami adding a late touchdown to go up 24-14. Pat said we absolutely ran a 2-3 in intramural basketball at Syracuse. See, I knew it. You have to run the 2-3 zone at intramural basketball at SU. But that's mostly because we were too out of shape to play man. Whatever. We don't need to acknowledge that part of it, Pat. I was happy to see Miami win. I'm no Carson Beck fan. That's been going on for a couple of years. Like, I think he's fine. But I was happy to see Miami win, mainly because I was happy to see Ohio State lose. I didn't want them to go back-to-back, which I didn't think they were going to. But it's just it was nice to see. But Ohio State wasn't even the best team in the Big Ten this year because that team absolutely beat down on Alabama on Thursday. Indiana, the Hoosiers. I'll say this. I don't know how many better, if any, how many better coaches in all of football, college and pro, there are than Curt Cignetti. The job that this guy has done, from James Madison, what he did to that program, now to Indiana, he is a program builder and the best in the business. 38-3, Indiana takes down the mighty Crimson Tide. Who probably shouldn't have been there in the first place, but that's beside the point. It's still Alabama. In a Rose Bowl that, for the first time, I think, in my entire life, was played in not beautiful weather. That was so weird to see that it was raining. Like, watching College Game Day, they were at the Rose Bowl, and they're getting rained on. And I'm like, wait a minute. When was the last time it rained in Pasadena? But this is by far the best team in the country. It was nice during the game. During the game, it was fine. It was just leading up to the game. There were still clouds and stuff, which is also weird to see. You never see clouds during the Rose Bowl. It's always blue skies and sunshine. But the best team in the country has the best coach in the country, and this is what happens. Is you destroy Alabama. They've got a tough matchup against my Oregon Ducks in the semifinal game. That one's that the Peach Bowl? Yeah, the Peach Bowl in Atlanta. That's going to be a tough matchup. Oregon 23-0 shutout against Texas Tech. I was shocked Texas Tech didn't put up a game. I said the night prior, I was with a group of people, and I said Texas Tech might be the most underrated team in the playoff. Like, I thought they were going to potentially beat Oregon, but at least put up a fight. And no, Oregon just dominated them defensively. They couldn't put anything together. And as a fan of the Ducks, that was fun to watch. Not the best game for Dante Moore. 234 yards and an interception, but I really thought that was going to be something. Jim said, you're likely not wrong, but I was shocked at how not good the Georgia quarterback is. Yeah, Gunnar Stockton is an interesting case because when he came in, it was Beck got hurt and he came into the game. What was that, a couple of years ago now? And it was like, this guy is going to be the next Trevor Lawrence, the next whoever you want to say. Last year. And like all of the stuff about him was he's going to be the guy. And don't get me wrong, he had a nice year. 70% completion percentage, which is great. 2,800 yards, 24 touchdowns, 5 picks. He had a nice year. He had a good year. But it was just, he didn't impress me at all against Ole Miss. And you can tell that the arm talent isn't what was advertised. The deep ball is not good. Yeah, Jim said Gunnar can't throw the ball down the field. Yeah, the deep ball is bad. It's not good. He thrives on short routes, check downs, which is fine. But this is not the man that was promised. Whereas Ole Miss, you have a team that's hungry, a team that feels wronged by Lane Kiffin, who we didn't even really talk about. Lane Kiffin's the coach at LSU now. It's college football. I wasn't sure where he was going to go. LSU made the most sense, but not always does the thing that makes the most sense happen in college football. And so he goes to LSU. Ole Miss feels wronged. They go out. They beat a really good Georgia team. Gunnar Stockton is not the deep ball threat, but this is still a good Georgia team. Still a good defense, still a good running game. It's still Georgia football. And they put up 39 on them. Trinidad Chambliss has a great game, 362 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Kawan Lacey, the running back, a couple of touchdowns as well, 4.5 yards a pop, 98 yards on the game. So they go out and they put up a number against Georgia. And they get Miami. Miami's going to be a tough one. Miami's defense is really good. They held A&M to 3. They hold Ohio State to 14. So they're going up against a good defensive front, especially. That game will be on Thursday. That's going to be a fun game. Right now, Miami is a 3.5-point favorite. Total's 52.5. I'll tell you what I like in that game. I like the under. I don't think there's going to be that many points scored in that game. I think because that's how Miami's winning these games. It's with their defense, and they're just doing enough on the offensive end to come out on top. And I think that's probably what's going to happen here. Not bad for the number 10 team in the country, who a lot of people weren't sure if they should even be in. But this Miami team is really good. Really good. And despite the fact that, like I said, I'm not a Carson Beckett guy, but he's been good for them. And like I said, they're just doing enough to win. So I'll take Miami in that one. I'll take them with the points. I'll take the -3.5. But like I said, I do like the under in that one. And then the game of the year so far, and it's a rematch, Oregon, Indiana. Indiana 4-point favorite. Indiana beat Oregon earlier this year in Eugene, 30-20. It's Oregon's only loss on the season. I don't see anyone stopping this Hoosier team. I really don't. They've got it going, man. 38-3 over Alabama. And you look at some of the games they played this year. Like I said, they beat Oregon earlier in the season already. They beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game. They beat Illinois 63-10. Beat Maryland 55-10. UCLA 56-6. I know these aren't great programs right now, but they just put up numbers. 38 points against that Bama defense. I don't think anyone can stop them. I'm going to take the Hoosiers to win that game. It'll be Indiana, Miami in the championship. And guess what? I'm taking Indiana. I think my buddy Charlie Miller, writer for Syracuse.com, Indiana Hoosier alum and superfan, is going to be very happy come January 19th, which is when the championship is. It's way too long. You have way too much time. I like the playoff. It takes way too long. Yeah, I don't see it. They do everything well. They've got a really tough defense. Fernando Mendoza, Heisman winner, obviously this year, has been a revelation for them. I just don't see how anyone can bring this team down right now. So, yeah, I'm going to take... I never thought I would say this, by the way. I never thought in a million years I'd be picking Indiana to win a national championship. But like I said, when you've got the best player in the country, according to the Heisman voters, you've got the best coach in all of college football, maybe including professional football as well. I really think Curt Cignetti is an unbelievably good coach. I hope he stays at Indiana forever, by the way. I know he signed that big extension. I hope he never leaves. Because how cool would it be to, for the first time in God knows how long, to have not a new program, but a new powerhouse in college football that has staying power. For so long, it's been Georgia and Bama, and Clemson was kind of new onto the scene with Dabo. But, Ohio State, Michigan, LSU, it's always the same teams. Not anymore. Not when the Hoosiers come to town. Fun to watch. It's really fun. And take a timeout, come back, and we will talk about SU basketball. I was going to do that in this segment. And then the football got me. So we'll come back. We'll talk SU hoops, their recent game against Clemson, and looking ahead to Georgia Tech. You are listening to Outside the Box Score, your home for local sports in Syracuse on the Score 1260.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing message.
This break is literally only a minute long.
Maddie, you look amazing. Thanks. I joined Friday's GLP-1 program. GLP-1? Like those big name weight loss shots? That must be expensive. Actually, with Fridays, my prescription is shipped right to my door for as low as $38 per week, all 100% online without any membership. You're getting GLP-1s 100% online?
Solid run of quad 3 and 4 games upcoming for SU so the media can get excited. Let's see, what do we got? Georgia Tech, Pitt, Florida State, BC, Virginia Tech, Miami. Yeah. Yeah, it's not great. At least we're in conference play. And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. SU hoops. It's that time of year. We're in conference play now. It was a long and arduous journey through non-con play this year for the Orange. Going through the gauntlet that was Houston, Kansas, and Iowa State in Vegas to come back to the Dome and beat Tennessee. Riding high. Like, all right, we beat Tennessee. Now we got 5 games that we got to not only win, but dominate. You got to dominate St. Joe's. They only win by 8. You got to dominate Hofstra. They lose. You got to dominate Mercyhurst. They win by 14, but it didn't feel that close. You got to dominate Northeastern. They only win by 8. You got to dominate Stonehill. They actually did that time. So the wins racked up outside of that ridiculous Hofstra loss. The wins racked up going into conference play against a good Clemson team, but there's some confidence there. You've won 5 out of your last 6 after losing 3 in a row in Vegas, one of which they should have won. But you get Clemson on your court at the Dome. It was a good crowd. Jim, always pointing out the SU attendance numbers for Mercyhurst. It was a good crowd. They just couldn't get it done. 64-61, Clemson takes down the Orange. Now, it's funny because if you look at the numbers, just the numbers, it looks like a very different game for SU. They shoot 83% from the free throw line. Shoot 33% from 3. It's actually not bad for this team. Only 40% from the field. Not something that we're used to seeing with this team. William Kyle only went 1 of 4. They locked him up hard down low. But they shoot 83% from the line. They only give up 64 points. You're thinking, hey, that's a pretty good game for Syracuse. They just never got it going on offense. 61 points. Donnie Freeman had a great second half. So happy to have him back. He had 18 and 9. Thrilled to have Donnie back on the court. Let's hope he can stay there. But he looked great in the second half. Tough start to the game. And it would have been nice if he nailed that 3 at the end. It was a good look. He was open about it. He's like, I've practiced that shot a million times, and I make that shot a lot. And he was not happy that he missed it, which, I thought it was a good shot to take. I wasn't mad at it. I thought the right guy shot it. He had been our guy the entire second half. So, fine with the shot. It just would have been nice if it went in. Nate George, 10 points, and they're the only double-digit scorers for Syracuse. That's it. 18 from Donnie and 10 from Nate George. J.J. Starling cannot do anything on the offensive end right now. 2 of 7 from the floor. He just doesn't have it right now. I don't know what's going on with JJ. I don't know if it's all mechanics. I don't know if it's mental. I don't know. But he's got to get going so this offense can run better. Kyan Anthony, 15 minutes off the bench, made a couple of shots. He had 7 points, made his free throws. You like think maybe he can be more of a spark off the bench. He played 15 minutes, maybe get him in that 20, 22 range. Bring him in when the team needs, a boost offensively. Only 11 minutes out of Sadiq White, who's been starting in the absence of Donnie Freeman. I still really like Sadiq White. Wish he would get some more playing time, personally. I think he's really good. He was the guy I was super excited about with this freshman class this year. 16 minutes for Betsy. It just never clicked for the Orange offensively in this one. And it seems like this is the thing. Because this defense is good. Not great as we thought they might be at the start of the year, but I still think they have a good defense. They had one tough game against Iowa State. But I still think that, the defense can perform really well. And they showed that. They only gave up 64 points. You still had 2 blocks from Kyle. You had 2 blocks and a steal from Starling, a steal from Nate George, a block from Freeman, a block from Anthony. Like, they still block shots. They still get turnovers. Well, they only had 3 steals, but Clemson only turned the ball over 12 times. But they can force turnovers. They also just couldn't hold on to the ball. Clemson had 9 steals. SU committed 15 turnovers. And even if you finally make your free throws and go 20 of 24, it's hard to win basketball games when you can't hold on to the basketball. And Jim said what happened to William Kyle in the middle. They just locked him down. Clemson did a great job on Kyle in this game. And he's still, he's averaging 10 and 8 this year. He's still going to be a force for this team moving forward, strictly for his athleticism, I think. And the guy's averaging 3 blocks a game. So I still think he can be that guy down low. It's just, you got to figure out when he does get locked down. What's the other option? Who's going to take that shot? Is it going to be Freeman moving forward? Because I'd be fine with that. Are you going to feed Donnie more? Are you going to feed Sadiq White more? I don't know if it should be JJ taking those shots right now. We haven't seen much out of JJ this year. But I need to see more on the offensive end. And I need to see more out of Red. I really do. It's really starting to become an issue with me. Is the coaching, especially on offense for this team. He's just not doing it for me. I wanted him to be the guy. When they hired him, I got my hopes up that maybe he'll run an offense like SU ran when he was there. When he was the point guard. Running up and down. A lot of ball movement. Quick shots. Run an offense. Run plays. But it's more of the same. It's more of this ISO crap that I can't stand, where you dribble the air out of the ball, you take a shot with 3 seconds left on the shot clock, not because it's a good shot, because you have to. It's just more and more and more of the same. And I need to see different. SU needs better from him. And it's not all on coach. It never is. It's on the players, too. They're the ones out there taking the shots. I need to see J.J. Starling shoot better than 43% for the season from the field. I need to see him shoot better than 44% from the free throw line. This is a guy that averaged 18 points a game last year almost, 17.8. And he's averaging 10.7 this season. Massive drop-off. I'd like to see more from Nate George. I'd really like to see more from Nate Kings, who last year shot 44% from three-point, and this year is shooting 32%. I need him to find his shot. There's a lot wrong with this Syracuse team right now. And this wasn't even a terrible game. Like I said, hold Clemson to 64 points. Clemson's 11-3. They're a pretty good team. But, God, it's just so frustrating that it's the same problems over and over and over again. Except this time, the defense is actually okay. Unlike last year, when we were saying these things about the offense at times, but then they were still giving up 85 points. We do have a game that we should win coming up. Georgia Tech, at Georgia Tech. Tech is 9-5, but they lost to DePaul. They lost to Drake. Like, their wins are Maryland Eastern, Bryant, Southeast Louisiana, Georgia Southern, West Georgia, Monmouth, Marist, Lafayette, and Florida A&M. Not that we have many better wins, but at least we have Tennessee. Yeah, like I said, they lost to Drake and DePaul. So it's a game that we should win. January 6th, 7 p.m. on the ACC network at Georgia Tech. ESPN right now has the matchup predictor 61% for Syracuse. And I hope that holds, because a road conference win is always a good thing. I don't care who the opponent is. You always want to win road conference games. And it seems like they have a good chance to do that. So, not getting my hopes up too high, but maybe we can actually pick up a win in conference play. Got some winnable games after that, too. Jim said, talk up a big quad 3 game. I know it's not, I'm not saying it's, I'm not saying they're going into Duke. I'm just saying go out and win a road conference game. That's all I want. You got at Pitt after that, Florida State, at Boston College, Virginia Tech, Miami. There's a stretch here where you can go out and win some games again. We don't have North Carolina, Virginia, Duke, Louisville until later in the year. So go out, have a good conference record, win these next 6 games that, like Jim says, aren't going to really help the resume. I mean, they will. Any win helps a resume at least a little bit. But go out, win these games. Win a couple of them by a lot, please. Get that net ranking up a little bit. And get ready for the end of the year. Going into February when the schedule gets a lot tougher. UNC twice. Virginia, like I said, in their building. Duke in their building. Louisville in their building. So just build up some confidence, build up some net, hopefully, and get into that stretch playing some good basketball. That's all I ask. Just play some good basketball for the month of January. We got to take a timeout. We'll come back. More to talk about on Outside the Box Score. Yeah, the March dream is dead. What a pathetic state for Syracuse basketball when we have to sit here and hope that they make it to the tournament. Syracuse, former national championship winning team, a tournament staple for decades. I know it's not completely dead yet, but like, is this team going to beat North Carolina? Is this team going to beat Duke? They got to do a lot more for me to say they're even going to be competitive in those games. And Clemson's pretty good, but they're not, Duke's the number 6 team in the country. North Carolina's number 12 team in the country. Yeah, they got to pull off another quad one. But who's it going to be? God, Houston would have been so huge for us. UNC isn't that good. They're 13-1. Their only loss is Michigan State. They beat Kansas, which we couldn't. They beat Kentucky. They haven't played the hardest schedule in the world, but they've got 2 ranked wins, and they lost to Tom Izzo, which many people do. And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. I was just looking at the AP rankings for college basketball at this point in the season. At least I can take some solace in knowing that Iowa State is currently number 3 in the country in both the AP and coaches polls. So that makes me feel a little bit better that they absolutely dominated that second half. Houston's still number 8. North Carolina's 12. Like I said, Duke is 6. Louisville 16. Virginia 21. So a lot of SU opponents, either past or future, appearing in the AP top 25 rankings right now for college basketball. We do have this weekend or I'm sorry. Yeah, this weekend. Yeah. We do have this weekend. Week 18. The end of the NFL regular season. Got some good games. Today, 2 games. Panthers, Buccaneers. That should be an interesting one. Division matchup. And the game of the night, Seahawks, Niners in Santa Clara, live from Levi's Stadium at 8 o'clock. That game will be on ESPN. Both of them will. ABC and ESPN. Big night for the Seahawks as they try to that clinch them. Have they clinched the division yet? I just got to double check the standings here. I don't remember if they already clinched the division or if that. Yeah, division on the line tonight with the Seahawks and Niners. Niners once again just out there 12-4. Sam Darnold became the 5th quarterback ever to have back-to-back 13-win seasons, which is insane. Like Manning, Brady, Favre. Who was the other one? It was Peyton, Manning, Tom Brady, Brett Favre, and Aaron Rodgers. Those were the 4. And Sam Darnold. I'm sure Jets fans love this. They didn't waste that guy for 5 years at all. But yeah, that game is for the division. The Panthers-Bucks game is for the division. Both of those, which potentially means that the division winner of the NFC South will be below 500, which I hate that. Steelers and Ravens are in a division race as well. Steelers are 9-7. Ravens are 8-8. Do they play each other? Yeah, they do. That's a Sunday night game. That's the last game of the regular season. Will be for that division. Oh, that's right. It's Falcons win Sunday. Carolina is in no matter what. And the Falcons play the Saints. Yeah. I don't know. That division is just terrible. I don't think, I thought the Bucs were going to be better, but I don't think the Panthers are that good. I'm not really a Bryce Young believer. He's had a solid year, but I'm not a Panthers believer. Packers Vikings will be a fun one. That's Sunday at 1. My Philadelphia Eagles play at 4:25 on Sunday against the Washington Commanders, coming off a big win. Much needed over the Buffalo Bills. It got scary in the fourth quarter. It got really scary. But Eagles end up taking that one over the Bills, 13-12. Offense did absolutely nothing. Defense played great. Holding James Cook to 74 yards was not on my bingo card. Josh Allen did rush for 2 touchdowns, but that missed extra point was huge. Eagles resting everyone. Yeah, I was just like, I'll still be watching it because it's my team, but yeah, they're not going to play anyone. They clinched the division. Why would they? And yes, I know the Packers are down to the 3rd string quarterback, which is kind of what makes it interesting. Who even, I don't even remember who it is. Clayton Tune? Is that the guy? Okay. Malik Willis is questionable for the game against the Vikings, but there is something kind of fun about just watching guys that clearly have no business being in the NFL. Are the Vikings still on their 3rd stringer as well? Oh, no. McCarthy's back. What am I talking about? Yeah, remember when Max Brosmer got some run? That guy stinks. I know the Jets are still going to be playing what's his name? The guy from Mizzou who's just been absolutely atrocious. Bills are playing the Jets, by the way. I'm trying to think of his name. Brady Cook. That guy is really bad. I kept wanting to say Brady Quinn. I'm like, that's not right. Yeah, Brady Cook, who is the perfect tank quarterback because he just goes out there and throws picks left and right. And yeah, it is the last game at Highmark Stadium. So bittersweet one for Bills fans. I'm sure the new stadium will be great, but it's going to be maybe the last snow game. Is it supposed to snow in Buffalo tomorrow? I hope so. Because with the new heated field and all that stuff, they're not going to be able to not going to have any more real snow games in Buffalo. So hopefully Buffalo just gets absolutely dumped on with snow, and we get to see one last true winter Buffalo Bills game, because that would be a lot of fun. Bills are going to win that game by 40, by the way. We do have to take one more time out. We'll come back and wrap things up on Outside the Box Score. Yeah, rest in peace, Highmark Stadium, which up until like last year, I was still calling New Era Field. I still call it the Ralph. Over under 1.5 plays for Josh Allen tomorrow. Yeah, under, but I still think the Bills are going to destroy him. Oh yeah, it'll be a Trubisky masterclass. I believe Mitch Trubisky is still the backup for the Bills. Yeah, and yeah, big for Allen to keep his start streak alive. It's like, what, 121 consecutive starts or something? It's pretty impressive. Pretty gosh dang impressive. Yeah, Pat. Like Pat said, it's especially for how much he gets hit. Yeah, it's insane. Be like Ripken pinch hitting during his streak. No, because didn't he start all those games? Eli got hit because he had a terrible offensive line. Josh just runs into guys. And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the score 1260. We were just talking about Josh Allen during the break, going for, I want to say it's 121 consecutive starts, or he's at 121, going for 122 in the Bills game against the Jets on Sunday. He'll probably just take the opening snap and that's it, but who knows? But it's insane that he's like never really gotten hurt with how much he runs and how much he gets hit. Because he takes some doozies too. So that's, that'll be cool. And like I said, it's the last game at Highmark Stadium, the stadium he's called home for his entire career. Which, yeah, I still call it New Era Field half the time, and Pat said he still calls it the Ralph. But I am looking forward to seeing the new stadium in Buffalo, but it'll just be a Mitch Trubisky masterclass on Sunday against the New York Jets, because I still think there's zero chance the Jets do anything against it. Brady Cook put him down for 6 picks right now. That guy's really bad, and so are the Jets. But what else is new? It's a year that ends in a number, so that must mean that the New York Jets are bad at football. That'll do it for the show. We'll be back next week, same time, same channel, 11 a.m. right here on the Score 1260. Peace.